Daniel Somekela, and I want to share with you about our program that will be running on TV, whether on YouTube or just on any media and videos. This program will be called Daniel Talk Show. So in between in the next month or months to come, so you'll be watching this program coming on, on the media channels, especially online, or maybe just TV somewhere where we have contracts to work with. So the program will be called Daniel Talk Show, where we discuss a lot of different topics, here in Dallas, and those from away from Dallas, they can come as well. We feature them on our show, and I'll be the main host of the show. Any problems or any happy moments that you want to share with us, you will be welcome on the show. That's why it is quite interesting that there will be this kind of a program that will be running. Now today, what I really want to share is to tell you about Zambia, because I come from Zambia, and Zambia is, of course, is in Africa, in Southern Africa, and of late there have been some issues in terms of tribals and politics, gymnastics, but I think we are all politically aware, and we should be able to be concerned, and as well also to contribute mostly positively, because Africa can only progress if us as Africans we consider ourselves as medicine to the African disease. Now you'll be wondering, what are the African disease? African disease, we could talk about conflicts, we talk about diseases, we talk about famine, we talk about corruption, and many other things that have been retrograding the progress of Africa. So these are some of the things that I think generally they affect Africa and also affect Zambia. Currently, there's also climate change. There's been a electricity shortage in Zambia because the Kariba could not provide enough water to generate enough electricity for the country. Now we have to start providing solutions to those challenges. It's not only Zambia that faces those challenges. Even the third world, even other developed nations, they've got on their challenges. That's why we are saying, we as Africans, we are the medicine to the challenges of Africa. For the past 51 years, the West have contributed to Zambia in many aspects, but we still have the same challenges. Why? Is probably we have let them to decide and dictate, tell us the way we want, the way they want things to happen. But that doesn't solve the solutions, because I believe that we as Africans, Zambians, we are the ones who know the challenges that we face. So I've generalized the problems that are there. So I will specifically probably, try to deal with one problem, and then probably look also at the solution that we may have. Let's go on the political level. Since 1991, we have one political party called MMD, up to the time when the PF took over, and now in few months there will be a general elections, and we have seen what has happened in these past years, almost past 20 decades. There have been some progress, and also there have been some retrogression in progress. For example, I was in Zambia last year. I saw great progress that was not there by the time I was there. It was like, I was so amazed to find there were nice roads, nice infrastructure coming up, and people look smart, nice looking, and everything like that. It was really amazing, and I liked it. I was, you see nice malls, and young people, they look to be so educated now. So those are some of the positivities that you cannot deny that are happening in Africa. And on the other level, I mean Zambia, and on another level, Zambia's economy, as for the past years, has been very positive, and many investors that have liked Zambia, mostly because of peaceful nature in terms of politics. The politics is a bit, quite stable, considered to other African countries. So Zambia is politically, it's a mature state. It's quite mature state, considering it's the third world country. Of late, again, we have heard about tribal issues and this and that. Well, I mean, I think we just have to understand that we as Africans, first of all, before we are Zambians, we are Africans, and when as Africans, then we are a family. That's one thing. If you come from Zambia, you come to the United States, you're a Tonga, you're a Lozi, you're a Bemba, they call you African. They don't even ask about your tribe. They'll ask me, you are African, and that's who you are. So you should identify yourself as African, and therefore we are a family. And if there are any problems, let us not pretend. Even our own families, we have problems. We have differences, and those differences, if we're a good family, we'll sit down and resolve those problems. Therefore, if we have differences based on some careless talking, I think it's important and to sit down and discuss those problems. I mean, remarks, and be able to forge ahead. The other things I talk about, I think I mentioned about climate change. It is imperative that Zambia start considering on how it's going to move forward in terms of its investment, okay, and in terms of its development. Because right now, if it doesn't find means and ways to secure its food sustainability, it doesn't consider how to increase its potential electricity supply, then it's a disaster, because more likely that in the later years there may not be rains, so hydropower may not be reliable. So therefore we need to start thinking what is the better way to make sure that we have a stable electricity. The fact is, when you don't have electricity, the most economy now is dependent on electricity. Whether you're talking about irrigation, you are talking about manufacturing, you are talking about food processing, storage of food, is all dependent on electricity. And most of the food today, it has to be stored. If you don't put it in the fridge, it goes bad. And some probably even result people getting diseases. So electricity is very, very important. That's why it should become a priority for any government, to consider electricity to be as actually a disaster that should be taken care of. The other thing is farming. Farming is very, very essential. So we should find the means and ways how we should improve farming in terms of irrigation. Make sure that people don't just depend on the seasonal crops, but they also can grow other crops within the year, so that even a time when there are no rains, they can still be able to have something to eat. So those are some of the things. And by the way, agriculture is a business, so we have to start thinking in terms of enterprise. Enterprise. Everything that we do now, we have to think in terms of enterprise. If you're a farmer, think about enterprising. If you are you're rearing chickens, you're rearing goats, so keeping goats or cattle or anything, you be to think as a business, because that's the only way you can you can move on. Another thing that I did mention was probably let me mention this part. Mining. Mining has become we talk about mining, and Zambia has been proud about mining for for many, many years, probably 68 years, since first mining was done in Zambia. But I think mining, the way we have done, we dealt with it, we have dealt with it very carelessly. That's why Zambian people have not benefited in the mining. So we have to reconsider on how we can, benefit from the mines. That is something God gave Zambia, and the Zambians should consider mining as something God-given. So they have to resit and reconsider how mining can be beneficial to them. I was watching some pictures from one of my friends. I just traveled to Zambia, and they were showing me some pictures of Changa North Hospital in Chingola. The hospital is in a deplorable state, because the current miners, the current owners of the mines, they are not taking care of those infrastructures. But I remember 20 years ago, the hospital was superb, and it was one of the best hospitals in Zambia. So we need to. So that is quite a litmus showing that right now Zambia is not benefiting from the mining. So if in Changa North, Changa South, or Chingola itself is now a ghost city, it's just something that we should rethink and ask ourselves: is it worthy to privatize our mines, or is it something that we should reconsider? To take over our mines and find a way how to move with it. So this may be quite expensive thoughts and expensive step to take, but I think they're important if Africa has to progress and Zambia become an icon in Africa. Lastly, I think education is quite essential, but it's not just enough to send people to school and therefore they have nothing. But I'm not saying that jobs should be created. No one can really create jobs. But I think there have to be a strategic way, that people should be innovative. By the time they finish school, they should probably not just be thinking like, okay, when I finish school, then X and Y should employ me. They should be thinking like, okay, if I finish school, what project should I do? If we start thinking independent like that, I believe that we can improve and develop Zambia. When I'm using the term Zambia, I think I'm using synonymously as well as Africa, because that's the only way we can progress. As Africans, as I said earlier, we're the medicine to the African disease. I also mentioned some diseases in Africa, like HIV/AIDS and other diseases that are coming on in Africa. So really it's up to us to make sure that we find ways and means to medicate those challenges and those diseases that Africa have. So when I'm using Africa, I'm really trying to portray Zambia, because this is the country I'm talking about right now. So that is exactly what it is. So if you joined this video almost at the end, we have been talking about the introduction of Daniel Talk Show, and also I've talked about Zambian politics, not really much in details, but I've just sketched, so that shouldn't worry you. You can start the video again, and then you can have the overall topic that I've this shared. So in the coming days or coming months, you will be able to watch Daniel Talk Show, and in that show we are going to have audiences, and we're going to be inviting Africans and non-Africans that are in Dallas or that are in America, probably those even from Africa, that can come and share with us their progress, their challenges on this show. The reason why I think this show is very important, there are many people that come to America, they come with a dream, and their dream come to die in America. And therefore most of people are kind of frustrated because their dreams has come to a stop. Their dream, they kind to be buried. But I think we need to rejuvenate that kind of dreams. But the only way we can rejuvenate those kind of dreams is when we have a means to discuss, a means to talk. Not just to talk because we are Zambians. No, not talk because we are Kenyans. Not just to talk because we are from Uganda. But we have to talk as Africans. We have to find a common place that we can discuss and be able to resurface from, from whatever we are hiding. So this has been a very important approach for me, and I think that if you watch this show and you feel blessed, please don't waste your time. You can either email me at daniel.nacdi@gmail.com. If not, I'll also give you my phone number. It's no secret. It's 214-861-5238. So those two modes of communication, you can reach me. So God bless you, and to again we talk.